Well, 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 today we appear here in our best purple because we are here to discuss Speak Now TV and its very offensive sounding vault trackies.
We thought we should do a little video talking about our predictions, your predictions.
Yes.
And just discuss these offensive names.
Yes.
Because it's really quite a lot that we're about to get all of these new songs.
It is a lot. I am going to start off with some negativity, which is I'm still not fully recovered from the fact that we're not getting the acoustic versions, and to have that really like spelt out loud and clear for us, having the back cover of Speak Now TV, it hurts. It hurts.
It hurts.
I actually think that I have recovered from the loss of If This Was a Movie, because I do fully understand her wanting this to be a fully self-written album.
Yeah.
And, at least we have the song. I guess I do still feel a little bit sad that it doesn't have a home anymore, but that's okay. I can actually move past that because we are getting 6 new offensive songs.
It is really sad about the acoustic versions. I guess I'll never fathom Haunted, guys.
You just can't be saying such things.
The acoustic version was my hope, and my one and only hope might be gone.
Look, maybe the new hope can be that maybe you'll have no choice but to fathom Haunted, because you'll just be listening to this album.
You're right.
And there'll be less songs
Maybe
to
I will
actually
fathom.
be taking
Maybe
in.
a miracle will occur.
Maybe she'll just sing some fucked up note or something, and you'll be like, damn, never heard something like that before.
You're right.
I love Haunted.
Look, I like your imagination.
Same.
It's creative.
Me too. I like living in this fantasy world where you fathom Haunted and all is right in the universe. But anyways, let's talk about this back cover. Now, first of all, I must draw our eyes to this lovely image of Taylor Swift. I love the head back.
Yes.
I love the curls. Love this dress, and the fact that she's gone for like a softer purple on the back cover.
Yeah, we were saying that we really like that soft baby kind of purple because we've been thinking about like what to wear in the Speak Now videos, and we've got a few like lighter purples, so we're really happy about that.
Purple is a difficult color to find clothing for, may I say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've gone for some like mauve,
baby.
some lilacs, some lavenders.
I also really love the ballet shoe. I feel like that's quite personal to me.
Yeah, the ballet shoe is great, although I have seen a few people attacking her because her foot's not pointed.
And it's sickled. It's really quite annoying.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to use some sort of dancer term to describe this foot of hers.
She's kind of turning it in. That's what a sickle is.
Fun fact about Bonny, her feet are always pointed. She's got these like interesting dance feet where like comfortable when you've got your foot laid out flat is like, your leg might, like your foot might sit like that. Bonny's is always like that. I also really love the font that's been used for Speak Now. I really, 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 really love the font because it is very reminiscent of the original sort of like cursive looking Speak Now. And, even the way that Taylor's like logo was for the first 3 albums, the one that actually just said Taylor Swift, kind of reminds me of that a little.
She's actually used the same font for the Taylor's version on all of them.
I like that. I like that uniformity. This is actually our favorite back cover of any of the re-recordings so far.
Absolutely.
We feel like the image for Fearless is a little bit like blown out and like white.
She looks a bit like a ghost.
Looking. Yeah.
Like, why is it so white?
And the red one is obviously an older image of Taylor on tour, not like a new picture. So we really, really love this one.
This is definitely my favorite. Yeah, and like even the coloring,
really,
the
really
writing,
love this.
I really nice.
Let's have a chat about these vault tracks, shall we? Now, the first thing that I really want to say is that I think a lot of us were really hoping for the song Battle, Let's Go, or Let's Go Battle. I just call it Battle, to be honest, but some of you guys call it Let's Go because like, baby, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways, was really hoping for that song to be a vault track on this album because I think that Speak Now was really our last bet in terms of the time frame that we know that this song was written. It's not going to work on 1989. It's not going to work on debut. So I have to resign myself to the fact that we're not getting it. But, I think that Speak Now is an interesting one to pick vault tracks for because we do have to keep in mind that it wasn't just a matter of picking the songs that she really liked that she wrote at that time. It's also about picking songs that she wrote only by herself.
Yes.
And I don't know what the songwriting credits are like on Battle, but I'm assuming that might have been a factor.
That might be a factor.
As well as, honestly, I think there were quite a few songs that people thought might be vault tracks, even like Permanent Marker. People thought might have been a vault track on Speak Now, but you know, she is, I guess, limited in a way to only choosing
Yeah.
songs that she wrote by herself. And
Maybe
I mean,
that's why there is less than
maybe
Red.
that is a good point, actually. I hadn't really thought about it from that perspective.
Now we have 2 features, which is so concerning.
We do.
And the first one is Electric Touch featuring Fall Out Boy. I love the little blurb that she wrote when she announced this about how, you know, since Speak Now was all about songwriting, I decided to go to the artists who I feel influenced me the most powerfully as lyricists at that time and asked them to sing on the album.
I love it because I don't know if there was so much of a focus on like who would sing on like the Red Vault tracks, for example. I mean, I think that there was a little bit of that on Fearless in the sense that she chose like country artists, but I really love that for the features on Speak Now, she's really chosen artists that were, you know, sort of in their heyday at this time as well. Like we have Fall Out Boy, iconic emo band, and Hayley Williams from Paramore. I mean, we were all listening to Paramore back then, and she is very close friends with Hayley Williams in real life as well. So, you know, it just fits, right? Like it just fits. I think that there is a lot of inspiration even in the sound of Speak Now that draws from music that was released in that sort of 2008 to 2010 time frame.
You know, yeah, I think it's actually really helps me fathom Speak Now a little bit more.
It has an
Because-
emo,
yeah.
dark rock kind of feel to it, actually.
And I like
makes
that she's
sense.
choosing artists to feature on these with this hindsight of
Yeah.
what the album kind of became and really what she was being influenced with at the time. Like, even with Fearless, you know, we have like Keith Urban, like such a great classic country artist. And I feel like having these, they're really different from...
They're very different.
Even though even though Speak Now technically was categorized as a country album, we have these kind of punk rock features.
Yeah.
Electric Touch, like featuring Fall Out Boy, like what is happening?
Yeah.
You know,
what is happening
this is her
there?
second feature with an emo boy. We had Panic at the Disco with Brendan Urie on Me, and you know, I'm sure this song's going to be quite different, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of sound they have together. And
Yeah.
Electric Touch, you know, it's giving sparks fly, electricity, sparks.
Yes. When you said this to me the other day, I was so fucked up because I hadn't really thought about its connection to maybe other sort of songs on Speak Now, but spark, electric, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
It has to be something chemistry or
Yes.
sexual, maybe. It's going to be amazing.
You know, it's even interesting to think about, you know, even on Fearless, like we have Don't You, and the production that Jack did on Don't You for Fearless is quite different to the rest of the sound from the album. And I do wonder with these vault tracks and maybe specifically with the songs that she has the collabs on, like if there might be a slight departure from the overall sound of the album as well.
Exactly,
Like
yeah,
she
that's
kind
what I
of
mean. It's
have
so
free
interesting.
reign and creativity to sort
Yeah.
of do what she wants with
Taylor's
these vault
version,
tracks.
you know, it's really quite
Yeah.
concerning. We don't know what we're going to get.
Yep.
When Emma Falls in Love. Now, I'm not going to touch on this one too much because you guys were saying some tea on Discord, and I want to wait till we read your opinions on that. But,
Yeah.
I think that one's going to be super interesting.
This title name has really captured me.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a very interesting
I
title
want
name.
it to be a story.
Yeah, like it's sort of giving like the way I felt when I first read like The Last Great American
Absolutely.
Dynasty. Like what could that song possibly be about?
Then we have I Can See You. I Can See You.
I Can See You. I actually haven't fathomed that a lot, that track name.
I Can See You.
What is that about?
Who can she see? Wow. Castle's Crumbling has got everyone talking, I think, for a few reasons. Obviously, the castle imagery is very heavily referred to in Fearless and Speak Now. Is it referencing maybe that past era crumbling, or maybe her faith or her purity, or a relationship, maybe just like Castle's Crumbling. But also at the end of the Bejeweled music video, when there's dragons are flying around, there's actually bits of the castle crumbling.
Yeah, and on fire, which I think is
Yeah.
like, it's interesting to think
Must have been
about
an
that
Easter egg.
because it could just simply be that was an Easter egg for this song, but I also
Must have
wonder
been.
if it's an Easter egg for this song being the one that has the music video.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll get there.
See, I bet there's heaps more Easter eggs in that we haven't fathomed yet because we don't have Speak Now TV.
And that's actually a really interesting point, because I think that a lot of us have maybe been slightly caught off guard by the fact that Taylor said about the Bejeweled music video that she had to write like a PDF file of all the Easter eggs that are in it, because I think that like a lot of us have picked up on a lot of them, but I think what we're only focused on is the fact that it is Speak Now coming next. But God knows how many Easter eggs are in there that we do not know yet, because we need these vault tracks and the lyrics in them to understand what Easter eggs are in that music video. Yeah. I'm so excited to go back and watch that.
I know. Foolish One.
Foolish One.
That makes a lot of sense for the Speak Now era.
Interesting.
She's really starting to learn when she shouldn't have trusted people.
Yep.
Oh, wait, sorry. Castles Crumbles is the one featuring Hayley Williams.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Oh, I think that might be the one with the music video.
So excited.
When we got those little snippets or photos of the music video that she filmed in England, it did actually have the castle thing that she used on tour.
Thing that she used on tour. Yeah. And I actually think that a very similar one is what she's standing on right at the end of the Bejeweled music video, as well as it zooms out back into the castle. So I don't know. It just
I hope so. And then Timeless.
Really
interesting. That's going to be the new album closer.
That's a lot to think about.
It is, isn't it? Especially with like Long Live, Timeless.
That's a lot. You know what? It really is a lot to refathom a new album closer. Where my mind is going with a lot of these vault tracks so far is naturally I'm thinking about John Mayer and the heavy writing about him on this album in general. And some of these tracks kind of maybe make me think that they could be more about him. Like even like for example, like Foolish One. I wonder if she feels foolish for having been with him.
Well, you know, I thought that at first, but then I thought maybe with woulda, coulda, shoulda, like what she's written, would she really put Foolish One on there? Because she shouldn't have known better. She was a child.
See, that's the thing though, is that I trust that actually Taylor has a really good ability to be able to separate her art from how she feels about something today. And I do think that that's an interesting thing to consider with her having to choose songs that she includes on these albums. Like, I think that there's a chance that with some of these songs, or, you know, and this goes for any of the re-recordings, that she needs to like look at the song and be like, this is a fucking good song. Like, regardless of whether or not I agree with this concept anymore or feel the same way, I can recognize
that's how I felt at the time.
That's how I felt at the time, which is what the vault tracks really are. They're songs from a past time. She probably doesn't relate to a lot of them, but also just like, I'm a fucking good songwriter.
Yeah.
I can write a good song, and this is the best of the bunch melodically, sonically, even if I don't really
agree with it
feel that anymore.
You're right.
So it's interesting to consider that when with you know, imagining how she picks these vault tracks.
I think all of these could have an essence of John Mayer, because Electric Touch could be him.
Yeah.
Whenever Falls in Love we'll get to, but I do think it could have she could feel a similar way.
Even Castles Crumbling, maybe it's sort of like my whole world is crumbling now.
Even I Could See You could be like, I can see through your shit. Shall we have a look at what everyone on Patreon is saying?
Yes, I would love to see what you guys are saying.
We're going to read through your comments and your fathomings and hopefully further fathom together.
Have a little consideration of what you guys are saying to us.
Okay, so Kendra said, I Can See You is track 19, like would've, could've, should've. So I'm thinking it'll be about a certain old man, as Emily would say. Haha. Okay.
That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about the track numbers and where these lie. And honestly, like if there even is a track 19, like I haven't really like properly spent time thinking about like how many tracks are on this album. But I think there's 22, isn't there?
It says 19, I Can See You. And I just said maybe I Can See You is like I can see through your shit. Like I can see who
I
you
really
see
you now. Absolutely. And we know that she's cryptic
Kendra.
like this, and
that is tea.
It was obviously tea that would've, could've, should've was track 19 on Midnight. So it would almost be strange for her to not do something like that on Speak Now. I you know, track 19, that's going to be an interesting one.
Long Live will have a music video and it will confirm 1989 just like Bejeweled in Midnight's confirmed Speak Now. I would die if Long Live had the moment, like the All Too Well moment. But I think that it's really hard to tell, because I think if she does release a single that's like not a vault track, it probably will be Enchanted in my mind.
Yeah. It is actually interesting to think about, because there has actually been rumors that there will be a music video for a song from the original album and also a music video for one of the vault tracks. And it's just fascinating to consider what song that could possibly be, because she hasn't done that before.
Exactly.
She hasn't done a music video yet for a track that was on the main album originally.
So I think it'd be cool to do that for Speak Now.
I think you bring up an interesting point with it maybe being Enchanted, because it does make me wonder if her only playing Enchanted on the Eras tour is an Easter egg for which one will get its sort of moment to shine. But God, Long Live would be a great one to have a music video for too. I would love that.
Maybe she's gonna keep just Easter egging the next re-record in like each music video.
It's interesting to think about too, because obviously we know that there was this music video filmed in Liverpool, which is the one that we were just talking about, that might be Castles Crumbling. But you know, it is interesting to think about if that could be for one of the main album tracks.
Exactly. Like Long Live.
Yeah.
And apparently Taylor Lautner was spotted there, you know, rumoured to be in the music video.
And Joey King, who was originally in the Mean music video as well. So it's very Speak Now oriented is what it's feeling. I saw someone even guess that maybe it could be a music video for Better Than Revenge, because the Revenge is like stealing back her albums.
Imagine she really has revamped it and like...
Can you imagine?
Imagine if she revamped it to be about
Can we talk about
Scott
the
and
fact
Scooter?
that it is... It would be so fitting. It would be so much tea. I am so happy that we do actually have Better Than Revenge on this track list now. Like, I think a few of us were sort of like, will she, won't she? With the fact that we could tell that there were 2 songs missing. And I think it made sense always that it was going to be the acoustic ones. But like, the question just had to be raised. Like, will it be Better Than Revenge that gets cut? And I am so glad that it's not. Oh my God.
We've kind of already touched on this one. This is not a prediction, just a thought. What are your thoughts on Battle not being there unless it was renamed to Castle Crumbling?
You know, it is interesting to think about it having been renamed to another song. I mean, We Were Happy was like that. We Were Happy, we fathomed in the breakdown, I think, that it actually originally had a different name. The only thing that I will say is that Castles Crumbling is not a lyric in the song Battle.
I feel like it would be strange.
She
doesn't often call like a song like a random, you know, lyric that's just a pass away lyric.
Yeah,
she usually will make it like whatever the chorus is, and I just don't think that she would have changed the chorus that much.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting thought. I say this every Taylor release, but I'm really hoping she has more of a rock element with the re-records.
I think that...
Especially the vaults with the features. I think you could...
I think that's I think definitely a possibility. I mean, I think that Speak Now as an album already is probably her most rock-oriented album, maybe outside of like Red, for example, but Red feels more like a soft rock, whereas Speak Now, like, especially when you've got the songs like Haunted and stuff on there, like it's very, you know, like intense, and it fits well into the punk rock sort of scene. So I think that we might be in for some rock songs.
Yeah. Better Than Revenge will be exactly like the OG. Okay.
You know, unless she's really revamped it to be like similar to like, you know, or rather make sense for the Scott and Scooter situation, I would really like for her to be true to the original. And the only reason that I say that is because we obviously have that video where someone yells out to her, Better Than Revenge is awesome, and she turns around, she's like, thank you.
Better Than Revenge is awesome! Thank you.
And I think that she was just so proud of it at the time that it does make me a little sad to think about her feeling like she has to change it. But then I also understand that like maybe in her own growth and maturity, she's like, I actually feel differently now and I would like to change it.
I think that the majority of people don't want her to change it. I don't feel particularly attached to that song, so I really don't mind what she does with it. But I do think that it would be cool if she just was like, fuck it, I think it would be cool either way. I really don't know what to expect.
I think
she's really hard to predict with changing or songs like that.
I'm also not really that attached to it, so it doesn't bother me too much.
Emma says, When Emma Falls in Love is rumored to maybe be about Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield. I saw somewhere that they met around the Speak Now era when filming Spider-Man, and Emma and Taylor became friends around then.
You know, when I saw that track name, Emma Stone is where my mind initially went because of the fact that they have been friends for so long. But then I thought about the fact that Emma's real name is Emily, and she changed her name, her stage name, to Emma because apparently there's another Emily Stone that's famous, although I have no idea who they are. But it did make me stop and think about it, because I was like, in her personal life, do her friends call her Emily? And if so, would Taylor write a song about her calling her Emma? I don't know.
I feel like people call her Emma. That's the vibe I get.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe someone else has said it here, but I'll say it now because we're talking about that song. Mika, our mod on Discord and Superior Human, was telling us about how a lot of you guys and her were thinking that this could be a reference to the Jane Austen book and character.
Yep.
And, you know, it's really interesting because Mika sent us this quote from Jane that said that Emma is a character that's not very likable. She's very headstrong, rich, kind of confident, and maybe a little bit annoying in some ways. And apparently she does fall in love in that book.
Yeah.
With an older man, which maybe Taylor is going to talk about how she might relate.
Very interesting, given that this is like primarily the John Mayer album.
Yes,
that is very fascinating.
I don't know this for a fact, but that's what I read on Discord. So please correct me if I'm wrong.
So
really interesting. Like, what if we get like a Last Great American Dynasty, the lucky one kind of story, but at the end she's like, yeah, and like this happened to me too.
I would love that, because obviously since Speak Now, we've got songs like Death by a Thousand Cuts and Tolerate It, where she's spoken about her writing with inspiration from movies and books and stuff. But having a song be kind of like a Last Great American Dynasty, but about a character and not a real life person, would be something completely new and different.
Yeah.
It even kind of reminds me of the fact that she wrote Love Story about Romeo and Juliet, right? Like
exactly.
inspired by
it actually makes
writing.
Perfect sense. It makes perfect fucking sense.
That would be so fucked up.
So concerning.
I would love if that was the concept for the song, although I'm sure whatever it is going to be the most offensive thing I've ever heard anyway.
Yeah, literally. When Emma Falls in Love is going to be a Superior song, I kind of feel the same. That's probably one of the most ones I'm excited for.
I just feel like, you know, this is why I feel like I get like the Last Great American Dynasty energy from it. When I first heard like Rebecca Rode Up on the Afternoon Train, I'm like, why do I care about Rebecca?
Yeah.
And then by the end of the song, I cared so much about Rebecca.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't include songs like this on an album unless it is the most superior thing that's ever been written.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think that When Emma Falls in Love is going to be a fucked up song.
Jess said something interesting. She said, if Castle Crumbles... Why can't I fucking say this name? If Castle's Crumbling has a music video, it could be an extension of Bejeweled. I love this because Bejeweled obviously ends with that Castle Crumbling. And what if she does continue to use that, like, the lift kind of metaphor to get her to the next re-recordings?
No, that's the most fucked up thing I've ever thought about. Like, oh my god, like what if the music video literally started with the same image of her on a balcony, but then it takes us somewhere else? Like, it's literally like Bejeweled is like a to be continued music video,
because it's like a continued story throughout all the re-recordings.
And then one of you guys said in one of the comments earlier that maybe that music video is going to hint at 1989 TV, which would be fucked up because then it would also link
the
in
PDF. She's going to continue it.
Oh,
Jess, I love that theory.
That is a fucked up theory, Jess. Electric Touch might be a younger version of Dress, I Think He Knows, False God, and Lavender Haze. Yeah. Yeah. I'd like it being a younger version of Dress because I agree. And you know, Sparks Fly does kind of have that energy, like there could be sort of like a sexual nature to
guys,
it, but
Sparks
she really
Fly
hasn't done that yet.
Sparks Fly is quite sexual. It's really
it
actually
is.
quite sexual. I think we all just like overlook that.
Yeah. And obviously Reputation is kind of the first album where we really get like a really honest and open expression of Taylor's sexuality. She obviously has dabbled in lyrics with it in previous albums, but it wasn't wasn't something that I think she felt really comfortable with really writing about until she was that bit older with Reputation. Or rather, not necessarily even comfortable writing about, but comfortable sharing with the public.
Yeah.
So it would make a lot of sense that there might be some more sexual
ones
kind of
that come
songs that
out
were in the
now.
vault that she just felt like she couldn't say that publicly at the time.
Totally.
I like that idea.
I love how some of the vault titles fully embrace the fairy tale-esque atmosphere present in Speak Now. Castles crumbling, timeless when Emma falls in love. Hello. It reinforces this aspect in the album and might make it more cohesive.
You know, I hope that that is the case, because I think, especially with Red TV so far, like those vault tracks elevated the entire album for me and really helped me like make sense of some things that I didn't fully understand on the normal Red album prior to Taylor's version. And so it would be really special for the vault tracks to really just bring the album more to life. This is why we keep saying that we haven't heard the albums that we have vault tracks for, because they will naturally be an extension of that narrative. It's going to be so fucking offensive to listen to these songs. Do we know who produced this album and the vault tracks? That is a great question, and I don't think that we do. But I am so excited to see who produced these vault tracks.
Absolutely. It's going to be so interesting. I hope that we, you know, like the rest of them, get some Aaron and some Jack.
Yeah.
And there's just been Aaron and Jack that's worked on the vaults.
Well, we did have like Shellback on Message in a Bottle, but that's a little bit different because she actually started writing with Max Martin and Shellback on Red. So I don't think that we'll get much of that for Speak Now. I hope that there are no Elvira tracks on Speak Now. That is my wish.
The very first night was produced by Danny D, Tim Blacksmith, and
Espionage. Interesting. Look, maybe. It's also interesting to consider if she has any of the other rogue producers that worked on Midnights with her on this album. She did say in her caption when she uploaded these songs onto her Instagram that she recorded this when she was 32, which puts us at last year. And we also know that Midnights was written and produced at the beginning of 2022. So what about like the people that she worked on like Lavender Haze and Glitch with? I wonder if there could be any of those people show up in these songs.
That's really interesting. Zoe Kravitz just popping her head in.
Can you imagine? That would be so offensive.
Mia says, I also think I Can See You is going to be part 2, Dear John. Like I said before, I'm getting vibes of John Mayer.
It's like I see through you. Yeah. And then Alex says, I see Foolish One being a reflection of her time with John Mayer. Kind of on a level of Would've, Could've, Should've from Midnights. It will be about how their relationship always follows her. Yeah. I agree in the sense that I feel like Foolish One feels like it would be about how she feels about her relationship with John Mayer, and sort of like what we said before, like how she would reflect on herself when it's all said and done. Like, I should have known.
No, you know, they're quite concerning songs, that one. And I continued on with what Mia said here. You know, I bet Scott didn't let her put that much tea on the original version. And we know Taylor has no filter when it comes to calling out men, especially around Fearless Speak Now time. So imagine the things that we didn't get because they thought it was too much. And like with I Can See You, what if that's the one where she really fucks John Mayer up?
You know, it is actually really fucked up to think about, because if she felt like she couldn't put nothing new on Red for fear of backlash, like what's in the songs about the relationships that she felt like she couldn't put on there? It's actually very alarming to think about.
Not necessarily a prediction, but I love that Hayley's feature is called Castles Crumbling, since there's a Paramore song that was big around the time of Speak Now release. With the lyric, go get your shovel, we'll dig a deep hole to bury the castle.
I like that parallel. I don't know if you guys saw, but Hayley actually did put up an Instagram post the other day, I think the day after Taylor posted about this, and just sort of wrote about how they've been friends for so long, since Hayley was like 21, and the fact that they were friends when Speak Now came out and she bought it and listened to it in her car or something like that, and it was so sweet. But I love that she feels so connected to Speak Now specifically because that's around the time that they became friends, and now she's on a song.
So cute.
I think that is so great.
I really love learning more about what that album meant to people at the time and to Taylor and her influences and all of that. Like, it's really interesting, and I think that they're going to really tell us a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Ava also said, after hearing her breath at the beginning of You're Losing Me, I'm no longer concerned for the shaky breath to be there and deadly.
Oh my God, we haven't even spoken about that. Like, what it is that she will or won't do, like, on the actual main album. And the shaky breath in Last Kiss is one that everyone's really holding on to.
Last Kiss, we were saying last night that it's one of the most exciting ones. Like, I'm so concerned that she wrote that song. It's going to be so superior with her new vocals.
Yeah, I actually think that it might be. I think that and Haunted are my favorites that I'm like anticipating in terms of having her new vocals on there. I just think that both of those songs will sound so amazing. I think that Last Kiss is such a long song and so emotional.
It's so beautiful in Last Kiss. Like, you have a lot of space in that song, so I'm really looking forward to like the new sound engineering of it.
Yeah.
But Long Live is just going to destroy me. I know it.
No, Long Live is going to be so fucking concerning. I actually can't even deal. I actually just need to look at this album for a second because
so many.
I can't believe that it exists, and I cannot believe that we're going to get Taylor's new vocals on this album. I mean, Dear John naturally is going to be deeply concerning, but there's something about the vocals for like Last Kiss that I think are just going to hit different.
They're going to fuck
and
us
I am
up.
so excited for that.
Guys, only a few weeks. Timeless will have the same vibe as Long Live, not necessarily the same message or sound, but the same feel to the soul. Yay!
You know, I really hope that Timeless is kind of like a I am timeless, or like my songwriting, my talent is timeless. Like, I will keep doing this no matter what.
Can you imagine? No, I can't. I can't have a song like that and Long Live on the same album.
No, it's good. And that's why I think it would link in perfectly with Long Live, because Long Live is like, I hope that this lasts forever and like long live these memories and like everything that we're doing here. But then Timeless might be a little bit more like building herself up, like, oh, I know I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I'm timeless. Maybe.
I'm pretty much convinced that Long Live will be the highlight of Speak Now, just like All Too Well was of Red. It just makes so much sense to me since she's doing the biggest tour of her career. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I need Long Live to be the moment.
If it's not Enchanted, it will be Long Live. But, you know, I do think it would be so special for her to really give a moment to Long Live with Speak Now TV, because I think that now she knows where her career's gone since writing that song, and how deeply connected she feels to her fans, even just now being on the Eras tour and stuff. I just think it would be so amazing for her to
make that a big moment. I hope she does something big with it, and then she also adds that to the set list of the Eras tour.
Yeah.
Imagine if she does that in time for us.
No, I am desperately hoping, fingers crossed, that she adds a song or two to the Speak Now set on Eras tour once we have this album in the world.
It's just rude to me that she's not singing Long Live on the Eras tour.
I agree.
Like, Long Live.
I agree.
Long Live?
No, it's rude. It's rude. Long Live is about a tour and your fans.
And it's about it lasting forever. Like...
Yeah, no.
Someone talk some sense into that woman.
No, please. What is your guys' most anticipated Vault tracks? Yeah, do you have one that you feel like you're most excited to listen to?
Well, I'm thinking maybe When Emma Falls in Love. Oh, I don't know. I'm really intrigued by Timeless now. Yeah. But then obviously the features, like maybe Castles Crumbling.
I think that mine is also When Emma Falls in Love. But then I think the next one would be I Can See You, because I'm struggling to grasp
what she can see.
Yeah, like how that phrase is put into this song.
Maybe she says all these fucked up things about him and then she's like, I can see you.
Oh my God. But like, I wonder if it's like a physically seeing you as well. Like, I can see you doing this and that over here, and like, I don't know. I think that you're probably right.
I think it's like,
I think it's gonna be like, I see right through you. Like, I see who you truly are. But like, I'm just intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see what she says there.
Caleb says, I'm thinking it'll be bigger production on some songs, maybe even Innocent slightly changed with backing vocals. You know, I wouldn't mind a bit of a change to Innocent. So
yeah, I could cope with that. I could cope with that.
Apparently, Emma Stone actually shared some info to Vanity Fair the same day that the Vault track names were released about her and Taylor's friendship.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Find it because
maybe it was a hint.
It was all over Twitter the same day that these got released.
I'm going to say, like, I'm really feeling like it might be more like the Jane Austen reference, but if this is about Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, I might pass away.
It's going to be pretty amazing.
Because, like, they're not even a couple, but they were.
This is what she said. She said, the concert was pretty amazing, talking about the Eras Tour. I was lucky because we've been friends for a really long time. I've known her since we were 17 and 18, so she hooked me up, which was very nice. She's a wonderful friend. She blows my mind. I mean, the amount of sheer stamina to do 3.5 hours and perform 44 songs and to maintain the extreme energy of the audience. I've never seen anything like it. She has an insane talent. I could never do what she does, is what she said.
Interesting.
I think it could be cute for her to have written the song about Emma Stone, just purely because I feel like we don't have a lot of friendship songs with Taylor, and that's something that we've spoken about quite a bit, that we really love from her.
She was observing her friend falling in love. It's like You Are in Love.
It could be like a 15, like an Abigail kind of thing, you know? And I think that would be really, really special.
Someone said, I finally noticed why during the performance of Enchanted and Eras Tour, the dancers are wearing ballerina outfits. And then on the back cover, she's wearing the ballet shoes.
Oh, you know, I am concerned for how many Easter eggs are on that tour that we just haven't picked up on yet, because we just don't know to pick up on them. But that's a great one, because there wasn't necessarily anything ballet-esque about Speak Now to begin with. So it is interesting that that's what her dancers are wearing, and then ended up being the picture on the back of the album.
Alex says, I fully believe that we'll be still getting Better Than Revenge and The Haunted Acoustic, but released as their own separate EPs.
Better Than Revenge?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that might be Back to December.
That's what she's
Back to December and Haunted. I hope you're right, Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I would just love for her to just randomly drop them. I mean, God, maybe she'll even drop them before the album comes out. Maybe that's just going to be a random little nugget that she gives us before we actually get
please,
Speak Now.
I need to fathom.
A few of you have mentioned maybe getting Battle or the acoustic versions as like a Target deluxe track, like kind of like hits different. My personal opinion on that is she hasn't done anything like that for the re-recording so far, and I think once again the point of the re-recordings is not to sell a million copies and like make a whole heap of money from it. I really feel like it is, as she keeps saying on tour, like a passion project, just so she can own these songs. And I can't see her doing a Target exclusive version of any of the re-recordings.
I really hope she doesn't do that, or like even doing a deluxe after. Like, I feel like I just want you to give us all of it in one album.
I agree. And I mean, I guess it is hard to know, because I think that the Fearless TV era and the Red TV era were quite different, and it's difficult to know what to expect going forward. But I don't know if I love the idea of having like a deluxe version of a re-recording. I think that what was so special to me is the fact that we are getting everything on one album finally.
Austin said, am I problematic for not wanting her to change Better Than Revenge? I find myself singing it 24/7, couldn't imagine it change. I do not think you're problematic.
No.
I think that it's a hard one, you know, like everyone loves the original so much, but also it is a little bit toxic, so
yeah,
and problematic. I think the song itself can definitely be seen as problematic, but I don't think that that's problematic to not want to change it, because you're attached to that. It's the original version.
Yeah.
Which is why I am leaning towards her probably not, she probably won't change it.
I agree. I think that it makes a lot of sense for this to be a conversation right now, especially in the age where social media is very like politically correct. But you know, I do think that there has to be room for a song like Better Than Revenge to just be like the true expression of an angry teenage girl. And every single one of us says things that we regret or things that we don't mean in the moment, and things that, you know, maybe we don't even agree with ourselves, but it is just said in a moment of anger. And I think that that's kind of what Better Than Revenge can be taken to be. I don't think it needs to be a politically correct anthem.
I agree.
And I don't even think that it needs to necessarily be that you know, that one lyric is Taylor Swift being a slut shamer, or that's how she feels about women who do want to do what they want to do in terms of, you know, sleeping with whoever they want.
She's been the one that's been on the end of the receiving end of slut
yeah,
shaming.
exactly. Like, that narrative doesn't make
life.
sense to me.
Yeah.
I think it was just a frustrated moment, and it came out in that song as just an attack against Camilla Bell because she was mad that her ex-boyfriend moved on so quickly with her. And I think that, like, sometimes we just have to take things with a grain of salt. Like, that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to sort of offer a bigger picture as to how sort of Taylor views things or whatever.
I agree.
So I think it could be nice for her to just keep it the same. But if she does change it, I'm also fine with that too, as I've said.
I agree.
So whatever. Oh, I wanted a longer version of Dear John so bad. I actually saw quite a few people being like, I wonder if there'll be like a 10-minute version of Dear John. Which is really interesting because like I think for many, many years leading up to getting the 10-minute version of All Too Well, we all knew that it existed. Whereas that's never really been the case for Dear John. So it is interesting to think about. But you know, it also is hard.
I'm going to be the one who I feel like is maybe goes against this because I feel like I just think it would take away from All Too Well if she started doing 10-minute versions of other songs or even extended versions of other songs, like maybe on another re-record eventually, but the one straight after, I don't think that
well, All Too Well was different, as I say, because we knew it existed and we'd been wanting it for years. I mean, people were talking about wanting the All Too Well 10-minute version during Reputation era before we even knew the re-records would ever happen. So it's a bit different for her to do that for us, given that that's something we were asking for years. But she's never indicated the same thing for any other song, and I agree. I think it would take away from what All Too Well has become.
It's a bit risky to touch a perfect song as well.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a bit risky. It's such a fan favorite. There were Speak Now Easter eggs in the Karma music video. She's an hourglass with purple sand equals timeless. And Taylor in the 5 light bulbs equals electric touch with her and the 4 Fall Out Boy members.
Yeah.
Why is she like this? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that we were also caught up on the Easter eggs for 1989 Reputation in the Karma music video that I actually didn't really pay attention to there being any Speak Now ones. But it makes sense that she would do maybe Easter eggs for the Vault tracks.
My prediction is that Castles Crumbling is going to address the aftermath of the 2009 VMA situation with Kanye. I immediately thought of the opening line and Call It What You Want. My castles crumbled overnight.
Yeah, see, that is an interesting callback to Call It What You Want, especially because that lyric does feel specifically like, you know, it is related to the Reputation era and the downfall of Taylor Swift, which was instigated by Kanye and Kim. But on a personal level, what I will say is that I really hope none of these songs are about Kanye, because I feel like I'm kind of done with the Kanye narrative. It would maybe make sense for there to be another song about Kanye on Speak Now.
I don't know. I feel like that was such a big thing for her to experience. And there probably is things that she didn't want to say. Like, she didn't address that really on any other song apart from Innocent and a little bit in Back to December. Yeah. But she didn't really talk about the effect that had on her.
I guess that would be different.
Really like
that would be different,
to
actually.
Talk about that. And Castles Crumbling could be my castle's crumbling from my first like hate kind of thing. Like my image that I had of the industry, my image that I had of someone that I looked up to. Yeah. I don't know. I think I would like a song of her talking about how that affected her.
No, you know, I agree actually. That would be really nice. It would be, I guess, a bit of a break from the relationship songs, which do seem to dominate a lot of her albums. And, you know, we did get a Vault track again, Like Nothing New, which has nothing to do with relationships and everything about how she's feeling about fame and everything like that. So it would maybe make sense for her to break up some of these Vault tracks with a song that's like, this happened to me and I am deeply affected by it.
Yeah, I really like that, Catherine.
That could be cool. Nate says Haunted will have the most different production of any song, and that concerns me because I cannot have Haunted be changed.
I would like that.
No, I don't think I could cope.
Maybe I would actually like it. If the production was changed, I would think I would like it. I think she left Back to December acoustic and Haunted acoustic off the album because she's going to release the Eras Tour acoustic album of all the acoustic performances of the surprise songs.
I mean, damn, that would be a very big album though, wouldn't it? Like, could she do that? I don't know. It's funny because, like, I think it's something that was spoken about even in reacting to the Secret songs, how there are versions that she's performed that, like, we would love to have recorded. But will she actually do it?
I do think I don't know if that's why she's left them off, but I do think it's possible that we might get a recording of all of the secret songs. I do think that that's possible, and maybe sometimes why she does start over when she fucks it up.
Imagine that. Imagine if after everything, re-recordings, getting midnights, maybe even a TS11 drop somewhere in this chaotic years of Taylor Swift's career, she also just gives us like a huge drop of acoustic versions of like every fucking song.
That would be so fucked up.
I wouldn't know what to do with myself. What do I listen to? The originals or the acoustic?
Right.
Help.
You're right.
Oh my God, that would be a lot.
Foolish One is going to have a trademark TS flip where it begins as her being the foolish one and at the end flips to him being the foolish one.
Oh,
kind of
my
like
God.
I should have known and then you should have known.
Yeah, or like, yeah, the girl in the dress wrote you a song.
Yeah,
You should have
shoulda
known. That would be tea.
I like
would
that.
love that.
I
That
like
would be
that
so
name.
great.
Sophie here is saying she's freaking out about the features. The original Speak Now has so much angsty country rock influence. These new tracks could give us more of what we fell for in the rock version of We Are Never Getting Back Together. I'm dying to hear them.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I would absolutely die if we had anything kind of sounding like that.
Oh my God, same. That would be a dream come true. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Oh, I didn't realize that character, Emma, from Jane Austen was the inspiration for the movie Clueless.
I didn't know that either.
So maybe Taylor's drawing inspiration from that novel too.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
actually.
So Enzo has said here, maybe the track Emma Falls in Love refers to the Emma character from Jane Austen's book. Looks like Enzo's going to go into some tea here that we haven't spoken about. So we're going to read it. The Speak Now aesthetic is very much in line with 18th century England. The book's synopsis is Emma Woodhouse, who is a rich and apparently snobbish woman, but deep down, her greatest ambition in life is to see others happy. When she decides she has the talent to form new couples, she starts working as Cupid in the small English village of Hartfield. With irony and delicacy, Jane Austen explores in Emma the social responsibilities delegated to women, the lack of control over one's destiny, and of course the strength of love, which to me describes Taylor perfectly. I think over the years, Taylor has always struggled with the image of being the rich, snobby, superior, manipulative, calculating woman, when in fact she has always been the opposite and kind to everyone around her, but always had her kindness mistaken for weakness or... Oh my God.
They mistook my kindness for weakness.
That's Lana.
Oh, that is Lionel.
Besides, the book also explores how the context of falling in love or being in a relationship with someone can make you mature and build a new perspective of yourself. Something that Taylor was going through at the time of Speak Now. You know, the more that I understand this Jane Austen book, the more that I do feel like it would make a lot of sense, and I actually would really love if that's what it is.
And you know, that really reminds me of Clueless actually as well.
Yeah.
Like, even though she is like snobbish and, you know, a bit of a brat, she is always trying to really like do the best by people, make other people happy.
Totally. She is playing matchmaker with Jai, is that her name? I can't remember.
Yes.
Brittany Murphy's character.
Yeah.
And like doing the makeover and everything, and it's like her heart's in the right place, but she comes off as snobby and rich.
Yeah.
It's actually... That is some tea. Why were late 90s movies so like that?
Yeah, they were.
Like, there were so many movies that were like set in like a modern day 90s high school era, but were like based on like old novels or Shakespeare or something like that. Like
10 Things I Hate
About You. Yeah. Really interesting.
Very interesting.
Oh, this is really interesting. Hannah said, I'm really curious if any of the vault tracks will touch on her parents' divorce around this time. That's a really interesting point, because I think that a lot of people don't realize that her parents have actually divorced, because obviously they're very friendly and are constantly together, especially when it comes to Taylor's career and supporting her. But they did actually separate a long time ago, and people have wondered if the song Mine is touching on how she feels about the divorce. And, you know, she even says in that, you say we'll never make my parents' mistakes. But the information didn't actually come out until a few years later that her parents are divorced. So I think that that's a really interesting concept.
That
because
is, like, I wonder if even a foolish one could be that, or Castle's crumbling, like her world's crumbling, or like like her idea of love, foolish one.
Yes. Like, I think that no matter what age you are, if and when your parents separate, I think it's a big world rocking sort of event for any child of any age. And it would make a lot of sense for Taylor to write about that, especially being such a hopeless romantic who was written about love throughout her whole career.
Surely it would have affected her. Maybe at the time she didn't want to share her parents' private matters too much, but now it will be a bit more like okay for her to do that.
I really, really like the idea that one of these songs could touch on that. I think that would be really fitting and a really, missing key piece of Taylor's story that we really haven't heard a lot of her.
No, that's really interesting to fathom, actually.
Narrative on, yeah, really interesting.
God, there's so much I don't know about the Speak Now era. We're about to find out.
We're about to find out. You're about to find out. That's going to be a lot for you, doll.
It really is.
Beth said here, I'm intrigued to know how the features will look on this album, if they'll be just backing vocals or if they'll have their own verses. That's really interesting.
I think that Hayley Williams will have a bit of a verse. I don't know about I feel like they might have a bit of a verse. I mean, it's really hard to know because obviously Chris Stapleton didn't have a verse. Phoebe's really the only one. Obviously we've got Run with Ed, which was a lot as well, but then we still got Keith got a verse. She likes to give the boys a verse.
She does, but I actually think with this one, my prediction would be that Fall Out Boy will just be maybe playing instruments and maybe some backing vocals. And I think that Hayley might have a chunk for herself.
My prediction is that both of them are going to have a chunk.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. I think what's interesting about male vocalists, other than I Bet You Think About Me, I guess, is that they do end up being more a duet traditionally when it comes to Taylor. Like her male collabs are duets. So I think that it makes me wonder then, like, is Electric Touch a duet?
I feel like Electric Touch is like, if it's about that, electric touch, it could be quite easy to be singing about that together, because it's like maybe about a feeling or if it's just a bit more sensual,
the connection that is between her and this person, rather than it actually
because imagine if like the second verse is still like her being like, I feel like this, I feel like that, the guy could probably still sing that.
That's interesting. That is interesting.
Surely we will get the shaky breath with Lost, because she will replicate that emotion, I feel.
I think so. I think that this is actually a really interesting thing to talk about, because obviously the original recording of Last Kiss, it is that real raw emotion and sadness that's coming through that sort of contributed to that shaky breath. But in the years since, we went on to talk so much about how Jo did end up being the name that was forever on her lips, because she obviously was in a relationship with Joe Alwyn, and Last Kiss is about Joe Jonas. But now that they've broken up, and also thinking about Midnights having been written during 2022, which is when she recorded Speak Now, and knowing that maybe like things weren't working out with Joe, it's interesting to think about her going into the studio and recording her vocals, and maybe it actually would have been quite easy for her to replicate that emotion, because she's thinking about that with the current Joe.
About the fact that she's probably thinking about Joe when she's re-recording this.
I'm so sorry, but they're both about Joe.
They're both about Joe.
So wait, that means that like Last Kiss Taylor's version can almost be like, in her mind, it is about Joe Alwyn and no longer about Joe Jonas. I don't like that. It's a lot. Rachel said I can see her releasing a new perfume called Timeless. That's so funny, because I've seen a lot of jokes on Twitter about her re-releasing Wonderstruck, the perfume, in line with Speak Now TV, which would just be so illegal of her to do. I would love her to do that, but it would be really, really offensive if she released a new perfume. She hasn't done that in years.
She's overdue.
Wait, she hasn't done a perfume since 1989. That's a lot.
Can she do one now that's actually offensive?
Yeah, I would really, really like her to do that. Like a super bougie perfume that smells really like offensive.
Yeah. Katie here has predicted who she thinks will produce each song. And she said Jack, Electric Touch, Castles Crumbling, and Foolish One.
Oh, okay.
Aaron, When Emma Falls in Love, I Can See You, and Timeless. I kind of agree. I feel like Electric Touch and Castles Crumbling would be Jack songs.
I agree. Why is that a thing? Why does it feel like certain song names just match who the producer would be?
And then Emma Falls in Love, like because of like Last Great American Dynasty maybe and stuff, like Aaron just, and like even like I Can See You with Woulda Coulda Shoulda. What if she didn't put Speak Now acoustic versions because she's going to release an entire acoustic of Speak Now? Nothing is more singer-songwriter than that.
No, oh my God. See, I like that theory.
I like that theory.
When it comes to acoustic things, I like that theory.
If she did a
you
whole
tell me right
acoustic
now that I am
album-
getting a second Speak Now that's all acoustic, I will fucking vomit and die. No, because absolutely it makes perfect sense for like the singer-songwriter narrative and Taylor having written all the songs by herself
No,
on
that's
Speak Now.
it. That's
But
it.
it's
If I don't get
also-
that, I'm gonna die now.
It's also like the album that has the most, as we sort of said before, like the strings and
Yeah.
like that was in the Back to December and Haunted acoustic versions. It's like all just like acoustic guitar and violins, and that is my preferred sound.
Now I need Jack to be the producer on all of these. Like
Okay,
all
but
of
what
the
about
original.
Aaron, though?
No. I
see
need
what-
Jack to be the producer on all the original ones, and then I need Aaron to have done the entire acoustic album.
No. Imagine if she's
Imagine
doing
if we
that.
got a Jack and Aaron version of each 12th track.
I would die. I would die if she did this for Speak Now.
No, that would be so...
No. No.
No.
No. That is the most
No.
offensive thing I've ever heard.
This is a wild guess, but there is a rumor about the Barbie soundtrack that Taylor is featured on it. Everyone thought it was Hits Different, but there is only one song, the track 6, that is not revealed on that list. If it's Hits Different, then why the secrecy? Maybe it's a Speak Now track, and if it is, which song could it be? I didn't realise that there wasn't one song that hasn't been revealed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes me clown much harder.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? And I do agree that it's probably not Hits Different, because the other thing that happened is that there is an official Barbie soundtrack playlist on Spotify that Hits Different has been added to, but it has not been announced as part of the actual soundtrack. So it probably furthers this idea of like, why would it be Hits Different? Why the secrecy?
Well, why did they add
could
it, though?
be- I
Was
think
it
that there's a
official?
few other random
Okay.
songs that are like kind of the vibe of the Barbie soundtrack, and that's
What
why
do
they've
we
done
feel
it.
like it could be? Castles Crumbling? Timeless? Barbie's Timeless?
You know, it see,
Foolish one?
yes. Barbie is timeless.
Barbie's
I like
timeless,
that.
yeah.
I really, really like that. But otherwise, I actually just simply have no idea.
Yeah.
I actually just simply have no idea.
Okay, guys, I think that we covered most of your predictions
Yeah.
here.
There was a few double ups, so I'm really sorry if we didn't get to your comment. There was a lot of similar theories and stuff going on there, but I think we covered the majority
a
of
long
them.
time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're so beyond excited to hear this album. I'm just so excited to hear her vocals on the songs that we
Same.
already love and know. But of course, the new songs are very exciting. I really think that this is going to help me fathom Speak Now. Like,
Yeah.
I think Speak Now is like my least favorite one just because I sometimes don't know what to make of it, like conceptually, sonically, everything. So I'm really excited for these to hopefully fill in some of those blanks and just, just immerse us in the album so we can really
Yeah.
fathom, guys. We
Yeah.
can really fathom. We have so much to learn. And even if you were a fan like Emily when Speak Now came out, you might have been a bit young. You might not have fathomed everything. There's things to fathom for everyone.
There are things to fathom. I personally, as a Speak Now stan, am just really excited to sort of world build with these additional vault tracks. This album meant so much to me when it came out, and a lot of the songs on this album have some of my favorite Taylor Swift lyrics of all time in it. A lot of these songs I link back to certain boys when I was a teenager at the time as well, and I just think that having some extra songs is just like every re-record so far. It's just really gonna help round out this era, round out the story that she was trying to tell, and I simply cannot wait. I'm actually I'm not fully processing that this is the album that we're getting soon.
No, I'm
we
so
were
excited for you.
We've been waiting for this for so long, and like for so many fucking months we've been like, where is Speak Now? And now that we're getting it, I'm like, I can't actually compute.
No, I
like
can't
it's not
compute.
actually sinking in.
I'm so excited
This
to
is just going to
fathom.
be an offensive era to exist in together.
It really is. Love you guys. Thanks
Love
for being
you.
here, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.